Hello there. Today I've got for you the Jinhao 82, or two of the 82, which is the Jinhao 164, but let's not go any further down that silly little malarkey. Right, so this is the Jinhao tribute slash clone slash whatever you want to call it to the Sailor Pro Gear Slim model. They come in all sorts of colours and finishes and things like that. So I've got a couple here for a reason, but I will come back to that one. I'm going to go through the parts of the pen with this one, which is in a kind of olive green with gold trim. So you have, let me just tighten that up. There's a spoiler there. So you've got a gold coloured cap band with Jinhao written on it there and nothing else on the reverse, and a clip which is pretty stiff but usable and grips well into a shirt pocket if that's your thing. Clip band there from the clip unit, flat cap finial and flat end finial with another gold ring there. I've got a bit posh today. Cap unscrews, and it does so in 1, 2, 2 and a teeny bit, 2 and a teeny bit, and then you've got another little ring there. Threads which are not sharp or intrusive. A little step down there again, which is not sharp. You have a number 5 sized Jinhao two-tone fine nib, steel nib in this occasion, and a plastic feed. Screw in nib unit, possibly. Must start trying that out, but I haven't played with this one yet in that regard. Cartridge converter pen. Converter included, Jinhao converter with your kind of flat ends, Lamy-esque, a little bit of wobble in there, but functions and works well. Metal threads onto the plastic barrel, but they do go on nicely, not had that kind of cross thread or chew up or anything like that. And you've got a little O-ring there just to cushion that seal and tightens up very nicely. No rattle on there or anything like that. Alluded to this at the start, the finials are unscrewable, and that clip unit there is solid in there, that's not going anywhere. So both the cap and the end finials are unscrewable. That one's not actually a screw, that's just a pop on pop off jobby. You just see the top of the converter there, so not sticking out. So not a blind cap, but that just actually doesn't unscrew, that just pops on and off. But they are interchangeable with other Jinhao 82 models, so if you wanted to mix and match up your finials, sort of a la cocktail series or whatever else, you can do that. They do a lot of already sort of pre-mixed and matched models. I'm just looking over. I've got one over there, so I'll grab that in a second. But they do all sorts of mix and match finishes. You can mix and match the sections. You can have a right play around for some good colour adventures there. So size and dimensions of the pen. It's a small pen. These are approximate measurements with limited measuring tools. So capped, it's only 123mm. It's a small pen. But if you're familiar with a Sailor Pro Gear Slim, you'll know what I mean. But yeah, it's on the smaller side. Sorry, should have said does post nicely and securely, making it more usable for me, certainly, because that unposted for me is pretty small and pretty slim. Anyway, So you've got your capped, uncapped and posted, and your weights capped. It is inked, so give or take a gram or so. Sorry. Uncapped, capped. Barrel just tapers down from 11 to 10-ish. And the section, I say 9/10. It just is an ever so slight taper down there before it flares back out. I've got that. The best measurement I can get on that is 9 or 10 mil. Okay. For a size comparison with some other pens, here you have the Jinhao 82 next to a Lamy Safari and a Twisby Eco. Here is a Sailor Pro Gear Regular, so that is the slightly bigger model. So just to be clear, this is not based on that. This is based on the Pro Gear Slim, which I don't have, unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on how you look at it. But just so you get an idea of the slight difference in sizes there. I've popped a Kaweco Sport there, just because it's a smaller pen. It's not quite pocket size, as in what you might think of as a pocket pen. It's getting on that way for me. And then you've got a Pilot capless. Stop wobbling the tray. Sorry. Pilot capless there. Not touch it. I won't touch it yet. Just for some size comparisons. Let's see how it writes. Just doing my usual fiddling, arsing around with some zoom and some focus. Bear with me. Hopefully I've got that in one. So I'm going to write with this posted because it's a small pen for me. So here we have, is that? Sorry. Jinhao 82. This is a fine steel nib. And I'll be honest, I'm not 100% sure of the ink on here. This is my daughter's pen. And she's had it inked up along with multiple others for some time. I think it might be Graf von Faber Castell India Red. I think. Not sure. Don't sue me for breach of copyright or libel, anything like that. Slander. I don't know which one's which. Which one's the spoken word? Doesn't matter, does it? Nice and smooth, a little bit of feedback, decent for a fine nib. Not generally a fine kind of guy, but that's not bad. Try it quicker. Keeps up nicely. No skipping, hard starts or anything in there. Wetness. Not bad. Not bad for a Chinese fine, no offence. Don't know why I'm doing that. If it is the Graf von Faber India Red, it's not the wettest ink in the world either, so that's not bad. Any variation? I'm going to say not really. Minuscule around maybe, but that is a stiff nib. Reverse writing. It will give you a bit. Just starting to dry a bit there. But no. Not bad. It's not too scratchy either. There's a bit of, should we say, increased feedback, but I wouldn't go so far as to say that's terribly scratchy for that experience. Clairefontaine 90 GSM paper, by the way. So I'm just going to keep this here for a second. So nib options with these, you can get a extra fine, medium, or a Fude nib. Hopefully I pronounced that correctly. Otherwise, I might start a feud. Sorry. Right, so they also offer, I have to play with this focus again. So they also offer a Fude nib, which is your bent nib, which offers you multiple degrees of line thickness and variation depending on the angle that you hold the pen. I am told quite useful for artists or people who like to draw, because you can get different line thicknesses and such. So let's try this one out. Now this one has Diamine Honey Burst in it. I know that much. Nice bit of, I'll show you in a sec. So just going to start at quite a steep angle, so do excuse me blocking this off. So you have a Fude nib. So if we start really like proper vertical, I'll show you the actual lines when I'm done. So there you've got your proper vertical angle. So proper, I don't know why it's proper, as opposed to an improper vertical angle, which would probably be horizontal. Yeah, sorry. And then if I lower that a bit, I'm just going to lower it by degrees as best I can for you. And we'll call this a bit lower, right? Then a bit more. And we'll call this a bit lower still. Hope you can keep up with these technical terms. Then even a bit more lower. So we're going to call this one even lower. Now, then if you put that like as flat as you kind of can, you're going to get a big thick line. So we'll call this flat and fat. And it will also do a nice, very fine line on the reverse. So that is a range. I won't say every single degree, because you can angle that kind of as much or as little as you want to do. As I say, if you're an artist, a sketcher, a drawer, you might get a lot more use out of that as far as defining the degrees of it, because I'm just, you know what I'm saying. But you can have a bit of fun with that. So this ink was Diamine Honey Burst. And that's a nice ink for something like this. I mean, like, you know, if you're bringing that down a little bit to, I don't know, let's go half-ish angle, whatever, that is wet. I mean, you're just pouring ink out onto the page, and it keeps up really well, the feed there. It's absolutely hosing out of there. It's very nice. So you get a nice bit of shading with that particular ink if you want to put a shading ink in there or something, even a shimmer, or whatever you might like. I mean, they do a number of little glittery finishes. Again, you can mix and match your finials up, so it's good fun. I mentioned some of these are my daughters. In fact, all of these are my daughters. Bear with me 1 second. So, as well as the first two, which I've used for the writing samples there, these are some others from her collection, because I got one of these myself just to try out. And I'll be honest, they're a bit small for me. They're a bit slim on the girth. They're a bit short. I mean, the posting can make up for that, but not so much with the grippage. I just don't find I use them much. Anyway, she loved them, or she loved it, and as you can imagine, great colour selection. The price of these will range anywhere from like £2, euros, dollars, whatever equivalent, up to sort of £10. In the UK, I see single ones of these for about £10, kind of post included, on Amazon UK, like Prime. You can get them on eBay. If you go to like AliExpress, you can pick these up for like £2 something. You pay a bit of postage on top of that, so you're looking about £4 or £5 with the postage included. You can get packs of 3, packs of 4 for varying increments. You get the picture. But they're a good, look, they're a great fun little pen for not breaking the bank. These were Friday rewards for my daughter for a number of weeks for, you know, doing chores or whatnot. Yeah, she loves them. She can swap around the cat finials and mix and match them. They're great writers. She likes the Fude Nib with the degrees of angle and you can get out of that. I should have said as well, this is really smooth. I don't know if you noticed there when I was playing around, but the writing experience with that Fude Nib is really, really smooth. Even when you're up here in the vertical, it's smooth. But yeah, when you're putting that flat against the page, really smooth, just drips ink out there in a good way. So yeah, good fun pens. Now I've got to get these back in a pen case in the right order, because you'll notice, unbelievable, isn't it? I mentioned, I'll just go back to the normal one here if you like. So I mentioned for me, these are a bit thin. I mean, I actually find myself gripping back up here, back on the threads. For this size, I just find that's too slim for me. Also with the smaller nib, I like it back from the page a little bit. It's just my personal preference. So if you've got smaller hands or different grip, that might work for you better than me. I don't know what is going on with my focus here. But back here, I find it quite usable. I just don't tend to reach for them. But they're handy in a shirt pocket, because they're a bit shorter maybe than some of your pens, depending on how shallow your shirt pocket is. Listen, I'm going off on any number of tangents here. But it's a good little pen. Good value. Full disclosure, I had one of hers, I'm not sure which one. But just, I've mentioned it before on a couple of pens, cap band came a bit loose. So I think the only quality control really these days that I've noticed persistently is loose cap bands. Other than that, solid, put together well, good options for finishes, colour, price, nib, interchangeability. good fun. Hope you enjoyed this. Hope you didn't wang on too long and get distracted in the middle there. And I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.